Hi guys, my name's Matt Winton. We're simply pouring all of the water all at once. Cheers. Hi guys, Matt Winton here, the 2021 World Brewers Cup champion. And I'm here today with HARIO. And I'm starting to get a little bit summery and feeling like some ice drinks. And today, with all these HARIO products, we've got you covered. Today, we're going to be going through the filter over ice first, and it's an adaptation of my 5-pour method. We're going to be using slightly more coffee, slightly finer grind, and we're going to be replacing half of the water that we would brewing with ice. This is going to create a really nice, refreshing filter coffee that's going to be nice and cool and going to be just delicious. And I can't wait to drink it. So for more information about the preparation and the brewing of this technique, I suggest that you go back and watch my video of the 5-pour method. We have today a ceramic V60 with a filter, which I've pre-wet. We have our coffee, which is a little bit more fine grind than our previous video. And we have our server with ice. So the recipe that we're going to be doing involves 28 grams of coffee, 200 mils of brewing water, and 200 grams of ice. We're going to start by putting our coffee in, and I'm going to get my water today, which is set at 93 degrees. We're going to be doing these 5 pours just like we did for the 5-pour method, and it's going to be doing half the amount of water, so 28 grams of coffee to 200 grams of water. And we're going to be dripping straight over the ice. Let's get started so we can all start enjoying this beautiful filter over ice. I have my kettle here with 93 degree water, and we're going to do our 5 pours, each of 40 grams. So our first pour, flooding the bed and then working around. It's a very small pour, this one. It's a little bit hard to master, but you just need to pour a little bit slower and you'll get there. As you can see, I've gone over a little bit. That just means that my next pour has to be a little bit shorter, but it's okay. It won't affect the taste of this coffee too much. It's still going to be delicious, don't worry. After our 30 seconds, we're going to pour our next one, another 40 grams. Up to 80 grams all up. So you might be wondering, why do we have our cold drink extracted with hot water? The reason for this is we still need to extract what we want from the coffee. And what we're essentially doing is doing a brew with hot water, but we're going to be snap chilling it. It's going to be getting cool as quickly as possible and staying cool. So naturally, some of this hot liquid is going to melt the ice, but that's okay. The reason that we're using more coffee, up to 28 grams, and a little bit less water, just 200 mils, is because we're going to have a concentrate. It's not going to be that big open brew that we had before in our traditional 5-pour method. Instead, it's going to be a concentrated brew that, when the ice melts, is going to dilute and get to the strength that we actually like. For this reason also, we're going to grind a little bit finer. The finer grind is going to do 2 things. It's going to help slow down our flow so that we have a little bit more time that we get to extract the coffee, and it's going to help with the extraction to make sure that we get the most out of the coffee that we're using. So you can see there, our ice is starting to melt. Our brew, which is hot right here, is cooling down already. I really can't wait to drink this. It's going to be so tasty. You might also notice that I'm using the words grams and mils interchangeably. Here we're only working with water, so 1 gram is the same as 1 milliliter. And we have our final pour here, up to 200 mils. Perfect. Let's go up to 200.5. It's okay. So now we have our finished brew. Once this is dripped through, it's gone straight over ice, it's melting the ice, but we've got this really nice concentrate. And by having this concentrated brew, actually we get more acidity, we get more flavor, and we get more sweetness. We don't have such a bitter product at the end. It's going to be really, really tasty. So we have our total brew here of just over 3 minutes with this same washed Ethiopian coffee that we've sourced from a local roaster who does such a good job of roasting this nice and light. And we're going to end up with a really, really tasty filter over ice. We're not going to have quite as strong of an aroma because it's chilled down, but I can promise you the taste is really good. So, it's time to enjoy this delicious filter over ice. And I like it most in my HARIO double wall glass that keeps it cooler for longer. Cheers. HARIO also has a few different ways of making cold brew, like the Mizudashi, the kaku, but today I'm going to use the filter in coffee. Instead of using hot water, cold brew has cold water and is left in the fridge for a longer time to extract. We're going to be using a smaller ratio as well, 1:10, and we're going to be grinding a lot more coarse than we did with our filter over ice. And in the end, we're going to get a result that has a bit more body, less acidity, and more round sort of a taste. It's going to be really yummy. Let's go through it now. So today we're going to be using a recipe of 75 grams of coffee that we grind really quite coarse and 750 mils of cold filtered water. This 1:10 ratio is helping us to get a good concentrated brew, and the coarse grind size is important because we're going to be having this in the fridge overnight. I like to do at least 12 hours. It gets stronger the longer you brew it. The FIC is really easy to use. After we take the top off, we have our filter basket. This is a really, really nice mesh. It manages to get a seamless pass of water and the coffee to extract really, really well, but it doesn't let any of these super fine particles come through into the brew. So the end result is a crystal clean cold brew. We have our 75 grams of coffee here, which I'm simply going to pour in. This one might be a little messy. Coffee sort of goes everywhere. So we have our 75 grams of coffee, which is really quite a coarse grind setting, as you can see. We're going to be then really easily just inserting this back into the holder and locking it in place. Next, I'm going to take my 750 mils of water. This is cold filtered water that I've already weighed out. Pouring it all into our cold brew maker. So we immerse it and take the lid off so we don't have too much pressure build up. And this lid will simply snap on like this, and you can reinsert the top. There's a really good seal here, so you don't need to be worried about leakage. And so this one is going off to the fridge now to extract overnight, or I like to do at least 12 hours. I can't wait to try it. Oh, there's no space. That's fine. Oh. Here we are 12 hours later, and I magically have a cold brew ready to go. So here we have our beautiful FIC full of delicious cold brew. Now you can literally open it and pour it out straight away, but I want to show you how easy it is to clean and remove the filter basket full of coffee. This filter holder is really easy to remove, and then we can simply pop that away, tip out the grounds, and it's very easy to clean. Next, we're ready to enjoy our cold brew. I like to use my Mio Love cup for both hot and cold drinks. It's insulated, so it stays cool for a while. Cheers guys, I can't wait to enjoy this. Oh, that's really good. So guys, I'm Matt Winton, the 2021 World Brewers Cup champion. Thank you so much for watching how we were making cold brew and iced coffees with HARIO equipment. You can check out the other videos for different recipes on different brewers. Happy brewing.